So what do you guys think?
I think it was a good purchase.
It's a nice place. It's big.
Yeah.
From what you look at the outside, this is really big. Was it Steve, were you the one that said it, or who said? It's all about location, location, location?
Yep.
Okay, well, he's full of shit. It's not.
I'm the one that said it's all about 10 and 10 and 10 and
Right.
Right.
Yes, okay. There's somebody just recently that is adamant about location, location, location. It's not location, location, location. It's two different things. It's tenant, 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 finding the right tenants for the property,
Yeah.
or finding the right deal. Like Karen and I were talking earlier, it's like, don't be so concerned about the area, be more concerned about finding the right deal with the seller. Because I'll buy anything anywhere, even in the areas that, if I would tell you generally, I wouldn't buy it there. But if I get the right price, the right terms, I'm buying it. I don't care. The location is almost irrelevant to me, because if there's houses there, I mean, unless you're talking about a single house all on its own, 30 miles from the closest next house and the next anything else. Right now, that might be a little bit out there. It's more about finding the right deal. I just bought one in St. Cloud. If you'd have told me, would you want one in St. Cloud? My general answer was going to be like, no, it's too far away. But when you hear the terms and the type of deal I got, it's like, well, okay, it's worth the drive. We want to figure out what's it going to cost to get the property in mint condition as is, not what can you do to the property to add value and add square footage, right? So when we're running our numbers, because then if you do buy the property and you want to add, like this basement is not finished. I don't know if he's planning on doing that or not, but my numbers are going to be based on it not being finished. We're going to clean it up, but not being finished. Okay, but my ARV is going to be commensurate to that value and the repair value. Then if I decide it's worth putting the money in the basement, then after I buy it, then I go back and rerun the numbers and say, okay, what's it going to cost to add more space or whatever in the basement? And will that add enough value to my resale to make it worth doing it? Right. Then now my budget's going to adjust, but so will my ARV.
So Mike, do you ever factor that into the purchase decision? Do you ever do that?
No, I do not.
Okay. Just for risk? To manage the risk?
Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I do. If you're looking at 2-bedroom, 1 baths, and they're in area of all 3-bedroom, 2 baths, and there's enough space in there to do that, then yeah, I might look at it and say the only way you're going to get the value out of it is by doing that.
Okay.
But most of the time I'm not looking at it that way, because most of these houses, they are maximized for what they can do. And that's the problem and the challenge I see with people when they're, especially as a beginner. Once you become more experienced, then yes, then you can start looking for niche properties and say, yeah, I'm only looking for 3-bedroom, 2 baths in neighborhoods where there's 5-bedroom, 3 baths, and I can add that extra square footage to the property. Right. But that's only once you got experience. So when you're first beginning, you need to start somewhere and have a base model where to start. Otherwise, you're going to be like, oh, I could do this, and then next you're throw in that extra amount of money. Or I could do this, and it's going to throw in that amount of money. And next thing you know, by the time you've talked to 100 different people and you've gotten a million different ideas, and you can't sleep at night because your mind is running a mile a minute, and you finally get the offer put together, the property's already been sold and closed. So my goal is to teach you guys just a strategy to come to your property in 15 minutes, figure out what the value of the repairs are and what the value of the property is, make your offer, and move on to the next one. And then if the seller comes back and says yes, now you go back and you start analyzing everything and say, okay, now what can I do?
I'll throw mine. Yeah, I was going to say I came up with 150. Part of it though, I wasn't sure what to do with the exterior. So I've got about 40,000 on the exterior. If we can do it less, then my number's closer to like 110.
And what on the exterior? Did you have that? What are you going to spend?
So I was trying to figure out what to do with the part above the brick. I'm not even sure what it is.
Stucco?
I'm sorry.
Stucco?
Yeah, like are you just going to paint over it, or
no?
No,
I think
replace it.
I think it looks okay.
Yeah. I'll just leave it the way it is. Okay, so then I'm down about 110.
Okay.
I was figuring 90.
90?
I'm down to 76.
76?
79.
79? 80?
About
30
to 40.
That's true.
30 to 40?
Yeah.
Wow.
Steve likes that.
I like doing lawn work.
What else we got over here?
I'm just kind of spitballing, I didn't get through the whole house, but you got a ton of stucco, or plaster and lath, and I got a feeling that's pretty expensive, so I'm thinking 110 at least.
Widest range we've ever had in a property from 30 to 115.
Yeah, they're probably right.
Yes, they actually are all accurate. They're all right. You could easily spend 150 in this property.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be way, way overboard, but you could easily do it.
Right.
And you could get by with $30,000 with you doing all the work and it taking you a year and a half to get the work done. Probably stealing half of the materials to do it.
Repurposing.
Repurposing the material. Right? So could it be done for $30,000? Yeah, it actually could. And I mean, I'm at 82, 83-ish is where I'm at. Where were you at, Steve?
60.
60?
We got new kitchen, new bathrooms, you know. Yeah. I don't think these ceilings, personally, because I've done this before, it's really not that big a deal. Get some crew in here for a day and knock them all down. Patch it up. And you put in new sheetrock. I mean, it really isn't. It looks worse, and I think it's going to be refinish the floors here.
I don't even factor for this because, like Steve said, this is a miscellaneous cost right here. For most people, that's scary. You just get it to the point where it's not loose anymore, and then throw some sheetrock up there and mud it, and you got, at the most, including labor, $100 worth of work up there. The expensive stuff's going to be the bedroom, the bathroom, because of the kitchen.
Yep.
I mean, not the bedrooms, but the kitchen.
Yep.
The appliances, the counters, all that. The bathroom.
Refinish these floors.
Would refinish.
I would.
I would.
Yeah, I would refinish them. But the cost to refinish them is going to be the same cost as if you were going to put a laminate over them.
Correct.
Or if you were going to put carpet over them.
Yeah.
So I don't differentiate on what I'm going to do to the flooring. I have never walked into a property that needed rehab where I didn't do a calculation for flooring and for the painting.
Correct.
But I don't walk around and say, well, what am I going to do to the floors until we're done with it. I mean, I bought houses and I couldn't even see the floors. It doesn't matter, they're the same condition.
Okay. I will.
Refinishing is the same as carpeting or is putting laminate tile on it. Now the kitchen and the bathrooms are going to have ceramic tile, that gets a lot more expensive. So, but definitely do that.
You put ceramic in the kitchen, not LVP, or?
No, I put ceramic tile in the
I put
kitchen.
ceramic in this one. Yeah.
Ceramic in the kitchen and
Because I want to get.
well, yeah, on this one probably. What do you guys think the property's worth after it's all fixed up?
$299.
I was thinking 280-ish.
$299, 280,
280.
280,
240, that was.
240,
I was kicking the tree, but
that was 3.
That's why I went 299, so you're just
Oh.
under the 3.
good point.
Well, 350. Here might be our buyer.
Like I said.
Well, he will sell to her.
To put it in the right context, I just sold a property at 3511 Russell, which is just a few blocks down. 1,200 square foot, tiny bedrooms for $245. No points.
What, how many beds?
3. One in the basement, a 10 by 10 on the
That's
main
also
floor.
a little bit more of a desirable location than this one.
So upper 200s looks doable based on these comps here.
Okay, so let's.
Well, there's one that hasn't hit the context, it's still pending, but there's one just up the block that's pending at 320.
Oh, wow.
That's nice, and it's not newly rehabbed. It's in nice shape, but it's not newly rehabbed and it's pending at 320 right now.
All right, so when you're looking at these comps, now I give you guys, we're going to be on the higher end, but we want to exclude the new construction because they're not comparables.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got, I'm pushing them up to that 270 range. Is what I'm looking at.
I'm thinking Queen Avenue is the closest.
Queen Avenue is the closest.
Yeah.
I didn't go. Now, one thing, all these are north of Lowry. That's an important distinction.
Right.
But they're, Alright, so, and that's the other thing you gotta know about your areas too. These are all north of Lowry, but I didn't break it down to what neighborhoods are in. Like, I just took I think the coordinates came out to like 0.4 miles from here to Lowry, so then I just did a radius.
Okay.
So we're 0.4 miles of everything that closed within the last 3 months. So these are all closed within their recent sales, and they're close in proximity.
No, it's not terrible.
So that's what we're generally looking for. So that puts me at a 270 number. So that's the number I worked with 270.
Okay.
When do you expect?
And what did you what are you going for, Steve?
Probably 330, I think, is what I'm probably gonna be shooting for. I'm trying to see if I can look at the address. My private money lender is also a realtor, so he is the one that said, hey, a block away is pending at 320. 3759 Knox is pending at 319.9 with a 1-car garage, 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom, a little smaller. So that's 1 block away. So that's gonna be a good comp.
And so that's at 320.
Yep. And it's not mint. I mean, good, but not mint, not special REIA.
All right, so I'm updating my based on that comp that we didn't know about, and those are things you really have to look at and
Right.
spend a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But based on that, I've got where does that put? Where do you guys come up with for a your maximum allowable cash offer? Let's rerun the numbers. So let's just add in that comp that we know about that he's got there. So if I take, like, I'm just taking my 270 and that what'd you say, 330?
320.
320. 319.9.
Yeah.
So 320.
Yeah.
Right. So that's I'm going at 300, and we had 3 or 4 people say 300 earlier, which is a comfortable number for this property. Where does that put you at for your mail?
155.
Yeah, money at 160.
Got a 155, a 160,
Said 180.
180.
I'm at 150, but I'm using a 75% instead of a 70.
Okay.
That-
I'm at 300 with my ARV, and I'm with my $85,000 in repairs. I'm at 140. And what did the property sell for on here?
135.
And then he wholesale it to Steve for 150.
155.
155. So even at 140, that's based on my 75% mail.
Thank you.
That's just a starting point, people. Remember, that's not. Hey, this is. Even though it's called the maximum allowable offer, when markets are going like they are right now, it's more of a guideline than it is a hard, fast number. If markets were going down, that is your maximum, that is your true maximum number.
Sure.
When prices are going down. But when they're going up, it's just a guideline right now.
Yeah.
So, 150 is a really solid number on this property.
I think so.
So he bought it at mail.
Yeah.
And what price do we want to buy him at?
Mail.
Mail.
Or less.
Right.
Right.
Mail or less. Even with a wholesale fee, he paid mail.
Yeah.
So this room here is actually a good example for finished square footage in a property. Remember, how we were talking about, like, to be qualified as a bedroom, the minimum floor area has to be 100 square feet. You'll get these ceilings that go like this. What we're looking for, in order for it to qualify as a bedroom or livable square footage. Remember we were talking downstairs at that 7-foot mark? So we want to find, this is where it's more important now. We want to find where the 7 foot is, about here. Okay? So this is coming up here. So from here on down is below 7 feet. What I care about is from here to here. What is that distance? And is it more than 50% of the floor? So if the floor was, just to make math easy, if it was 20 feet from there to there, then from here to here have to be at least 10. Anything greater than 10, it qualifies. Now this is more than enough. What I'm talking about is some of those smaller ones.
Yeah.
Because a lot in North Minneapolis and St. Paul have these 1.5-story houses. This is a full 2-story.
Mike, is that a city by city requirement or a state requirement?
No, that's not even a state or a city requirement. What it is an FHA appraisal guideline. If it was conventional, it's not a problem. Because FHA, and so we want to follow the guidelines of FHA. FHA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac, so those that are going to follow the same guidelines, that's like 70% of all the financing out there. So you want to follow those guidelines. And if it's an FHA lender, they're going to come in here, the appraiser's going to come in here and check these.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So they could say, declare this not in bedroom?
What they'll do is they'll declare it as 25% of the finished square footage.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. It's still a bedroom.
Oh yeah, and it would still be, it would not be
Still a
declared.
bedroom. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a bedroom. You're right. It wouldn't. So if it was a like here, if this was as a 5, we're calling it a 5.2.
Right.
They're going to say no. This one doesn't qualify, so it's only a 4.2.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to our total finished square footage, we got 17 something.
1762.
Yeah.
They're going to figure out whatever this area is, and they're going to take away 75% of the square footage. So if this was 100 square feet, they're only going to give us 25 square feet
Which of
of
course
benefit.
that impacts the appraisal.
Right.
Right, it impacts the appraisal. Now, if it's a conventional buyer, it's not a problem. It doesn't matter. But FHA guidelines, so we want to follow when we're looking at properties and renovating, we want to follow the FHA guidelines.
I see. 'Cause
So,
they're
like-
more strict.
Right. So when and it's only a problem when you're looking at those older houses with the small rooms with these, because they got the angled ceilings, but they're not, people call them a bedroom, but they're not. I mean, it's really bad when I have to walk like this, and they're still calling them bedrooms.
Yeah.
So they're not going to get a full-blown FHA appraisal.